Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get together live here on Facebook, where we take a look at news, headlines from our city, state, and country. We take a look at your comments, ideas, and suggestions. We combine all this information so we can put it to good use as a community of English speaking locals living here in Puerto Vallarta. Today is 30th of January, and it's a pleasure to get together with you. And it is Tuesday. I wrote early in the comments that it is 2-for-1 Tuesday at Cinepolis, and I believe somebody asked if I was going to take advantage of this, and the answer is yes. I'm going to go see one of the Oscar big nominated movies, and I forget the name, but it's going to be good. I'm sure that somebody in the cluster that's going to the movies with me will kindly enlighten me as to the name of the movie, but that's about me. Here we are to discuss things that are important to you. So, as always, I welcome you to Coffee and Headlines. If you're watching live for the first time and you'd like a little informal welcome, all you have to do is write the word new in your comment, and we'll be so happy to give you a nice little welcome. And of course, if you have something really important that you wish to share with a cluster, it helps a great deal if you add a capital letter Q at the beginning of your comment. Let's get going with our news. And this is good news for all that drive through the Libramiento. The northbound long Libramiento tunnel will be closed this week after 11 p.m. for maintenance in anticipation of the installation of a brand new lighting system. The work will continue until Friday. It is worth recalling that this is the oldest of the two tunnels, and for some of us who have lived here in Puerto Vallarta for some time, for many years, it was the only tunnel to be used. So be mindful of this if you are driving late at night this week, as you will most likely be detoured to the other tunnel while repairs take place. Another spot that received some much needed maintenance are the courts and playground at the Coapinole Lagoon. While we've spoken about the lagoon itself in the past and are aware that the playground area was in disarray, we had not heard of any improvements there until now. Apparently, this work was performed thanks to a partnership with Bimbo Group, the people that make the bread, thanks to their Good Neighbor program, which has contributed to over 1,480 infrastructural projects since 2012. And I know it's a funny name, Bimbo, for a bread company, but, it is what it is. In Spanish, it means nothing other than, the bread company. But moving right along, if you are anything like me, as soon as you get the sniffles, you begin wondering, is it COVID-19? Do I have the big bug? The good news is that while there are a few COVID-19 cases in the state of Jalisco presently, the numbers are very low, with only an average of 47 new cases each week throughout the entire state. So this is not something that you want to be concerned about at this time. And last but not least, as English speaking locals, we are well aware that our electrical service is provided by Mexico's Federal Electricity Commission, or CFE. That said, more and more people are becoming aware of the fact that CFE also started offering internet access packages at low cost. But how good is the service? This article breaks down the advantages and disadvantages of the service, emphasizing that it's ideal for people on the go or living in rural areas. My question to you is, are you using CFE's internet service? And if you are, how has it been for you? Please feel free to share your comments so that we can all learn from you as we go along. Now, let's take a quick look at the weather to see what's going on out there. And if you don't mind, I'm going to clear my throat. Oh, I think that's better. Well, at least it feels better. That cloud looks like Lindsay Lohan after a night out clubbing. Well, I wouldn't know what that looks like. But what I want to tell you is that it is 26 degrees out there. Humidity is at 68%. And our weather forecast for today says mostly cloudy skies throughout the day with a high of 29 and a low of 21. Tomorrow, Wednesday, humid with overcast skies plus some patches of sun shining through with a high of 28 and a low of 19. And then Thursday, humid with mostly clear skies throughout the day, a high of 29 and a low of 18. So what's keeping you busy these days? What are your pastimes? What are you doing to keep yourself entertained? I am happy to report that I went to hang out with my friends, the Yarn Benders, yesterday. Take a look. There you have it. The Yarn Benders is a local group here in Puerto Vallarta, the PV Yarn Benders, of people, mostly women, but there were a few of us guys, interested in fiber arts, primarily crochet and knitting. The group gets together 4 times a month. I think it's a weekly gathering. 3 times of the month, it's a morning thing, so I cannot attend, obviously, because we're here doing coffee and headlines. But once a month, the group meets in the afternoon, and it's a lot of fun because everybody brings to the table, quite literally, all kinds of different projects, so we can all learn from each other, and we can inspire one another as we continue to explore our pursuit of yarn arts. There are some very accomplished people there, and there are some people that are just starting. But it doesn't matter. Everybody lends a helping hand. And the afternoon meetings are at Basilio, the Italian restaurant right next to La Come. So it's a great opportunity to enjoy a glass of wine or maybe some pizza or some other Italian dish. PV Yarn Benders is a private Facebook group with 137 people involved. I will leave you with a URL in the show notes in case you'd like to attend an upcoming gathering. And before we get done with this section, I want to tell you about an event you may not want to miss. This is the New Belters performance at Nacho Daddy, taking place on Sunday at 9 p.m., featuring Nicholas King and Seth Sykes. Now, I have seen this performance before, and I have to tell you, Seth and Nicholas are the real deal, along with Mark Hartman, who we know to be a very accomplished piano player. All of them have Broadway credits on their belt. There are apprenticeships with Stephen Sondheim and Liza Minnelli. So, I mean, when you go and see these two guys sing together and separately, you are um, really in for a treat. So if you enjoy Broadway musicals, cabaret ballads, uplifting and inspiring songs, I totally recommend this performance. Again, this is going on this coming Sunday at 9 p.m. at Nacho Daddy. Tickets are not inexpensive, but they are definitely worth the price of admission. And this brings us to the chit chat section. Let me take a quick look to see what is on your mind. And what I see here is lots of good mornings, which are very much appreciated. And more good mornings. And more good mornings. And there is... thank you, Brian. The name of the film is Poor Things. I think it's a readaptation of Frankenstein, and it has Margot Robbie on the lead. I saw the trailer, and it looks absolutely fascinating. It seems really interesting to me, and actually this comment was originated from Logan in a private conversation. We never seem to understand how movie theaters go about doing their programming. Particularly when it comes to these blockbuster movies. You know, they always seem to emphasize the really big movies and the more commercial ones. And this film is not particularly commercial, but, you know, programmers must have seen the name Margot Robbie and thought, oh, she's the Barbie girl. We must program this. So I don't anticipate that the film is going to be, that the theater is going to be very crowded, but I think it's going to be absolutely wonderful. Oh, there you go. Here's Logan. Hello, Logan. Pobrecitas, or Poor Things, or Lady Frankenstein, as I like to call it. I love it. Karen's packing suitcase is coming down on Thursday. Well, Karen, if you arrive early enough in the day, come join me at my music appreciation presentation at the Joint. It's going to be a lot of fun. Of course, it's a free presentation. And I hope you can attend. Jim says we walked out of that movie after an hour. Well, I hope that's not what I'm going to do, but thank you very much for your feedback. Let's see what else we have. Here is a cue. Paco, I think you mentioned that you can now take a bus to Hacienda Serena for the Charo event. Where do you catch the bus? Maybe I missed the info in the show notes. I don't recall saying that now you can take a bus. I am sure that there is a bus that goes in that general direction. However, I don't know what the bus is and where you can catch it, I am afraid. But if anybody else has that information, by all means, feel free to share. What I would do if I was not taking the buses, I would take an Uber, and I would arrange for a pickup in advance, because I anticipate that coming back, it must be difficult to catch a cab or find transportation. But I could be wrong. Thank you for your endorsement, Logan. These guys, this has to do with Nicholas Cave and Seth Sykes. These guys are absolutely brilliant. Wholeheartedly second this endorsement. Unfortunately, Sunday at 9 p.m. is bedtime for this working gal. But hopefully they pack a great audience. Yes, I hope they're going to do great. Patrick says, glad to finally be up early enough to see you live. It's great to see you, Patrick, wherever you are, thank you very much for joining us. And this brings us to the end of today's broadcast. Tomorrow, we're going to have a quick overview of a little Mexican endemic animal, or a little animal endemic to Mexico that is celebrating a special holiday. And later on in the week, I prepared a little segment on the upcoming celebration of Mexico's Constitution Day, which is coming up on February 5th, so we can learn a little bit more about Mexico's Constitution. Between now and then, I'd like to remind you that if you'd like to support Coffee and Headlines, you can do so at the website indicated here, whether it is to support us with an occasional coffee or to pursue a monthly or annual subscription. It goes a great deal to ensure that we can continue providing these broadcasts on a regular basis. I hope you have a great day today, and I hope to see you again sometime soon with more headlines and stories for the English-speaking community here in Puerto Vallarta. Have a great day.